The Hawaiian island chain is the surface expression of a deep mantle plume impinging on the bottom of the Pacific Oceanic Plate. This mantle plume has produced volcanic ocean islands for about 80 million years as the Pacific Plate translates. It currently supplies active volcanoes on the Big Island of Hawaii, illustrated here based on seismic tomography of the upper mantle. Zooming in, this scaled drawing shows the complex pathways inferred to be taken by magma through the uppermost mantle and crust towards Kilauea volcano and its neighbor Mauna Loa. We will focus on the shallowest part of Kilauea's plumbing system in this movie. Here, reservoirs at a few kilometers depth are a final staging place of magmas before they ascend towards the surface. These reservoirs feed eruptions at Kilauea's summit and rift zones. In 2008, a vent opened in the Halemaumau crater and hosted a lava lake for the following decade. This eruptive sequence culminated in 2018 with a 4-month-long fissure eruption along Kilauea's lower east rift zone that erupted a cubic kilometer of magma and resulted in summit caldera collapse. The conduit onto the lava lake depicted here was highly active over the 2008 to 2018 eruption. Signals of this activity that were transmitted through surrounding rocks to the surface reveal the structure of the shallow system through time. The graphs shown here depict Kilauea summit eruptive activity. We will represent this data using sound and animation, a combination that often makes complex temporal patterns easily recognizable. We use a variety of techniques to sonify different types of data. With a graph, there is usually a legend, which allows one to interpret symbols visually. The analogy for sound is an aural key. What you're about to hear is ground deformation associated with magma intrusions, with amplitude of deformation mapped onto notes added to a swelling chord. The loudness of the sound also corresponds to deformation amplitude, like this. Very long period seismic signals record oscillations of magma in the conduit and shallow reservoir. Frequencies of resonant oscillations are mapped to pitches whose decay rates correspond to how long each resonator rings. The frequencies and decay rates are sensitive to temperature and bubble content of magma in the conduit. Each seismic event records an excitation of resonant wave motion in the magma column, which acts somewhat like an organ pipe. Many events in sequence sound like this. Earthquakes reflect stress changes inside the volcano. We speed up the raw seismic data until it can be heard, panning left and right to reflect location of the event relative to the center of Halemaumau crater, like this. Altogether, we can now listen to a decade of magma dynamics at Kilauea summit compressed into 2 minutes. 1 second of this movie is roughly 30 days. the end of the movie, there was a period of intense activity, a climactic caldera collapse sequence that resulted in profound changes in summit topography as seen here. We will now focus on this collapse sequence and zoom in on 4 months of activity in 2018. As before, we sonify earthquakes near the summit by speeding up raw waveforms and panning left and right to reflect location of the event relative to the center of the Halley-Mau-Mau crater, like this. Tilting of the ground through time is mapped to sweeping chords, like this. The result is 4 months of eruptive activity compressed into 2 minutes. In what follows, 1 second of movie is roughly 1 day. The sequence of 62 day-long earthquake cycles that you just listened to resulted in total collapse of the Kilauea caldera floor by about 500 meters. During each cycle, stress built up in the rock around the reservoir as lava drained to feed the lower East Rift Zone eruptions. Each cycle culminated in a magnitude 5 earthquake as the caldera floor collapsed downward by several meters and repressurized the magma reservoir. Studies of the eruption are ongoing. Thanks for tuning in to the Volcano Listening Project.